deep, like, and we can always go white, black, and all this other stuff, right? But it be humans. Like, we be capable of diabolical shit as humans. You could be white and hate black people, and you especially you ain't been around no black people. All the real bullshit shit that broke your heart, all the heartache and pain, all the traumas that happened to you because other white people did it to you. You black, you don't like white people. You look up, every scar on your body, all them traumas been done to you by your own kind. Might seem to you, whoever got power over you in the moment, white, black, whatever, they might just do some wild shit. So we just go back a little bit, right, sons? So after, let's do, like, we got to, right? So check it, let's do it.
The first Thanksgiving. American schools generally
they gave
teach
them
a
the
conventional
disease,
story
niggas
about
died
the meeting
off, all that,
Pilgrims
now
and
niggas
Indians
is
that
back.
finished with an amazing
Pay
day.
attention, let's turn it up for you.
But there's more to the tale.
More to
this
it.
video will explain the events around the first Thanksgiving and how it's not the image ingrained in tradition. At the start of the 17th century, southern New England was home to a variety...
Not the image engraved in tradition. Like Columbus Day. Remember y'all niggas remember Columbus Day? At a certain point, it's going to be kids that grow up, everybody old, like myself, we going to be off the earth. Niggas going to be here that just got here. They going to be like, the fuck is Columbus Day? They might have Columbus all the way pushed over to like the Leopold, Hitler, savagery bag, like to where they act like this nigga wasn't never celebrated. We still do have multiple cities named Columbus.
Variety of busy communities within several confederations. These were the people of the First Light, and they called their home the Dawnland. Political leaders were known as sachems and had been trading with Europeans for over 100 years before the Pilgrims. Relations soured only after deceitful Europeans kidnapped locals to sell as slaves. Permanent European settlement was impossible due to the already high...
He's doing business. Niggas decide, you know what? I don't really want to trade. I don't really want to barter. I don't want to spend my money on this product. I want to just start taking shit. This is also a common human trait, especially nowadays. A lot more takers out there than it is givers.
High population of native occupants, but in 1616, tradesmen introduced a disease to the Dawnland, whose inhabitants died in droves from a lack of immunity. In 3 years, up to 90...
So, here we go. Traders, European traders, we gave y'all a disease, gonna wipe out 90%, right? 90% gonna dip a body.
Percent were wiped out in several confederations, including the Wampanoag. Their head sachem, Massasoit, was aware of how close they were to being subjugated by their unafflicted enemy, the Narragansett. He was determined to save his people from such a fate. This was the political world the Pilgrims were about to enter. The Pilgrims were not called Pilgrims by their contemporaries. They were known as Separatists, a branch of the English Puritans. King James hated Puritans and began persecuting them in 1604, so the Separatists fled to Holland, where they were free to worship. But because they feared losing their national and communal identity, the congregation wanted a new place to plant their church. They decided on America and asked King James for a patent that would grant them rights to build a colony. They planned to make a profit catching fish to pay off the debts to their investors. The Mayflower set...
I ain't missed that too. Old lying crazy ass motherfuckers, them Pilgrims. I said it. They planned to make a profit and pay the whole shit off by fishing. Watch what the fuck he about to say, though.
Sail on September 6th. 2 months later, Cape Cod was spotted, and 16 men were sent to shore to inspect the area. Unfortunately, the settlers didn't know how to fish, and food was running out.
Unfortunately, the settlers didn't know how to fish. These niggas left and arrived lying. You know they about to get on some bullshit.
They resorted to stealing from graves, homes, and storage pits to keep everyone alive. Then came their first hostile encounter with natives, but no one was killed. On December 12th, they reached New Plymouth. They did not land on any specific rock, but folklore insists they did. Construction began in January. By winter's end, 44 settlers would be dead from bad conditions. In March, they were surprised when a man named Samoset walked into New Plymouth, greeting them in English. He told them they were building on top of a village called Patuxet, whose residents had all died from the recent epidemic.
Yo, y'all building on top of a village. All the people here died. Last time y'all homies and all them had pulled up, gave them niggas blankets with smallpox or whatever. I don't know what it was. We survived though, but we cool, man. Ain't really no smoking nothing. Y'all good over here? We trying to really, we know y'all lost a few people, man. Y'all been struggling here. Maybe let us help y'all the fuck out.
It belonged to the Wampanoag, and their chief, Massasoit, was watching them. The settlers were eager to trade, so 5 days later, Samoset returned with furs and companions, including Tisquantum. Known famously as Squanto, he had come to tell them in perfect English that Massasoit had arrived. After years of dealing with Englishmen, the sachem did not trust the newcomers. Edward Winslow was sent to be a hostage and declared the settlers' peaceful intentions. Satisfied, Massasoit walked into New Plymouth and was regally greeted by the governor. A peace treaty was created, ensuring mutual protection if attacked by enemies. With the help of Squanto, New Plymouth settlers began to fare better.
So wait, here we go. Now look. Remember what they were saying, so, and even with people from Africa, everybody looked like, oh, Africans selling Africans, hold on. These are big continents, like, so, America's a country now, but they never established, the natives that was here never established America as a country. So for all the fuck you know, I know, anybody really know, right? The whole East Coast region to them could have been one country. Or this area. So they got, it wasn't like they was all what they call Indians sticking together. They was different. They was fighting. So now we gonna help y'all, right? Seems simple. Fuck with y'all. Y'all fuck with us. Yo, we do got beef with them over here. They might try to wild out on y'all. So look. We gonna make a treaty. We gonna stick together. And if anybody really try to get online, you got me, I got you, right? Yeah, of course.
Robson was absolutely vital as an interpreter. To the separatists, he was a gift from God. But in fact, Squanto had been kidnapped from Patuxet in 1614 and shipped to Spain to be sold into slavery. He ended up in London at the home of a merchant who taught him English and arranged for Squanto's return to the Dawnland in 1619. But Patuxet was now gone, wiped away by the epidemic. Massasoit took him in with suspicion because of his years abroad, but needed a translator to parley with the newcomers. He eventually sent his warrior Hobamok to live among the settlers and keep an eye on Squanto. By fall, the settlers had a bountiful harvest and a feast was held to celebrate. Massasoit showed up with 90 warriors and 5 deer for the meal. For 3 days, the English and Wampanoag ate and entertained one another. This was the famous first Thanksgiving children learn about in school. However, the word Thanksgiving would not have been used by these settlers to denote a harvest feast. For Puritans, a day of Thanksgiving was a day of fasting while giving thanks to God in prayer. The story of pilgrims and Indians.
Wait a minute, so for all you Christians and people, whoa, y'all gonna be out here giving, what y'all really supposed to be doing today is fasting and giving thanks to God for all the shit y'all been eating. Like I said, I don't know what you would, but I bet you motherfuckers ain't gonna get up and not eat that dry ass turkey.
Not end here. During New Plymouth's first year, Squanto had been up to something. Realizing his substantial power as the only English speaker of his people, he conceived a plan to overthrow Massasoit. He persuaded locals he could command the English to make war or peace at his will. Hobamok was suspicious of Squanto and warned Governor Bradford. Soon enough, they discovered Squanto's plot and informed Massasoit, who was furious. He demanded Squanto be handed over for a swift execution. Bradford refused. The interpreter was too valuable to give up. But according to the treaty, Squanto's life belonged in the hands of his sachem.
Whoa!
Bradford finally conceded. He was about to hand over Squanto when an unidentified ship appeared. The alarm it caused delayed Bradford and worried Massasoit's envoys. Angered and impatient, they left. The ship carried 60 Englishmen planning to build a colony near Boston. They abused the Massachusetts locals, initiating a conspiracy to kill the colonists. Warned about the plot, New Plymouth's leaders launched a preemptive strike to save their impudent countrymen. It brought peace for a time. In that time, more Puritan settlers arrived.
Holy. We all know that a lot of the basis for America is started with just a lot of treachery and deceit and dirtbaggery. Different times, different way of life. The earth is a way harder place to survive and live, and we think that murder and shit, somebody say murder is very commonplace now, right? Imagine how commonplace murder was then, like. Ooh.
Soon outnumbering the natives. And while the Pilgrims' Treaty with Massasoit lasted until the Sachem's death, other Puritans were not concerned with such alliances. Their fanatic religious principles ensured no peace between the two cultures could last. To Puritans, Native Americans were the other, wild, savage, godless. With such an ideology, the outcome was inevitable.
So, with such an ideology, the outcome was inevitable. Does it seem to anybody that wherever Christianity go, wherever like really devoted, overzealous religious people go, murder and mayhem follows? No way around it. Like homie said,
if they did not convert to Christianity and surrender their cultural identity, they had to be eliminated.
Oh Lord.
The first Thanksgiving was a brief moment of harmony between two worlds, but sadly it was short-lived. The capitalist opportunities the Dawnland presented, combined with zealous puritanical beliefs, were incentive enough to wipe away the native inhabitants. There is nothing wrong with sharing a feast of thanks with loved ones, but remember the true events that started the holiday, and not the fairy tale.
Whoa! Remember the true events that started the holiday and not the fairy tale.